Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Craig from iProgress and we're here today with another video talking you through how you can make the most of your PhD candidate time. You might have seen other videos where we've looked at the first day and maybe the first week of your PhD. You may have seen our podcast episodes on this as well. But in this video, what I'm going to do is still talk you through what you should be doing and giving you some top tips for the first year of your PhD to make sure that you're using your time as effectively as possible. Let's take a look at some ideas. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to think about is how important it is to develop really strong habits and workflows. Now, you've heard this lots and lots of time from us at iProgress, but the key thing that we really want you to do is to develop good ways of working right from the beginning of your project. So if you can figure out ways of storing papers, ways of writing regularly, building really strong habits where you're incrementally building towards your thesis document coming together in a really seamless way, I guess. So developing these kind of slow productivity techniques, writing 500 words a day, figuring out how you can save papers from Google Scholar or from databases into something like Zotero so that you've got everything in one place where you can organize things and very quickly find the papers that you need alongside any notes that you've got so you can cite them in Microsoft Word or whatever word processing software you're using. Those kinds of things are going to be invaluable in saving you lots of time and making your life lots easier further down the line. Next thing that you should be doing is try to develop a really sound knowledge, a base level of really strong knowledge about your topic area. The only way you're going to do this is by reading regularly, and the only way it's going to become second nature to you is to develop really strong habits of writing. So we've already spoken in multiple different places about the importance of writing around 500 words a day, whether that's a review of a paper that you've read or a summary of a collection of papers that you've read, just so that you can start to really develop a habit of finding your voice within your particular area of research. The important thing to bear in mind here is that if you are writing regularly, you're also actively recalling the information that you're reading, and this is known as an evidence-based way of revising information to being able to recall it and teach it to other people. If you can be active in the way that you're reading and writing, then that's going to give you a much more thorough grounding in your area of research. So make sure that you are doing that in the first year especially, so that you can start to make a proper headway in terms of your writing of the thesis further down the line in years 2 and 3. The third thing that you should be doing is working towards data collection or fieldwork. Now, the thing is, with lots of different PhD programs, it might be that in the first 6 or 12 months you need to go through various different processes as part of your university's criteria for being a PhD student. At some universities you might need to pass a project approval or project proposal stage, and then you'll also need to gain ethical approval for your project. Make sure that you're making progress in relation to each of these milestones in the first year. If you're doing that, then by the time you get to maybe month 9 or month 10, you'll be in a position where you can start planning your data collection, planning your field work, whatever's most applicable to you, so that you can really start to crack on with the kind of meat of your PhD project in that second year. What that will do is it will give you lots of motivation for going forward, and you'll feel like you're really making progress with your project, and that will make it so that you are less likely to procrastinate over time, but also it will keep that interest and that, like I say, motivation to carry on with that project, particularly when you get to perhaps the middle of the second year where lots of people experience a bit of a slump in that motivation. You'll be able to power through that and see all the progress that you've made in that first 18 months or 2 years. The final thing you should be doing is to try to develop as many templates as you possibly can. Think about the types of documents that you'll be working with and types of documents you'll be writing throughout your PhD process, particularly around the thesis. Try and develop a chapter template as early as you possibly can. I remember when I did my PhD, I really struggled at the end, particularly around formatting things like the contents page, because I didn't have a template which was set up with different levels of headers, and it just made everything it didn't really ruin the PhD, but it took a lot of time to focus on formatting a document that looked like it made sense. So try and get that done as early as possible when you're not rushing to pull everything together, so that then when you are writing you can just put things in the right order and in the right place, and then that will pre-populate a contents page for you. It seems like a really small thing, but the more quick tips and more quick things you can do to speed things up and make things a lot easier for you when you get to your 3rd or 4th year, the much less stressed you're going to be and the much more you're going to enjoy that submission process. So they're the things that we really want you to focus on in the first year of your PhD, developing those strong workflows, making sure you've got a way of working that makes sense for you, you're developing your habits of reading and writing. That will then feed into your learning of the topic area, developing that subject level expertise. When you're doing that, you can also be writing things like project proposal forms and ethics forms to make sure that by the time you get to the end of your first year, you're able to start collecting data or doing your field work. And then whilst you're doing that, developing templates for different documents that you'll be working with throughout your PhD process. If you're doing that, then what you'll be doing is putting yourself in a really strong position so that when you get to your 2nd year and into your 3rd year, you're just able to write your thesis rather than to focus on these relatively small kind of picky tasks like formatting, but also you'll have that confidence that you are actually a subject level expert in your chosen area of expertise and of study. Hopefully this has made sense. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and you found it useful. If you've got any further tips about what you did in your 1st year, if you're a 2nd or 3rd year, or things that you're trying to develop in your 1st year, please put them down in the comment section below and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.